Kids Central this morning. We're so glad you're here. This week we're going to be starting a new series, and our new series is called True Story. And this series is all about explorers, and explorers are people who go on adventures. And you guys probably know what adventures are. I love to go on adventures.
Yeah, me too, Sierra.
I really like adventures because they're filled with surprises, and you never really know what's going to happen.
That's right.
So all of our stories throughout this month have surprises in them, and they're going to be really exciting to figure out that they're true and all these things really happened. So because we're talking about true and false things, like our stories are all true, we're going to play a game that deals with true and false. So our game, you want to go ahead and explain it?
Let me do this. I'm going to give you some facts, okay? And then you have to tell me if this fact is true or false. So what I want you to do, Sierra, and you too, guys, when I give you the statement, you think about it, and if it's true, I want you to hold up your thumb like that.
Okay.
And if it's false, I want you to hold your thumb like this. Okay? So if it's true, what are you going to do?
Thumbs up.
You got it? And if it's false, what are you going to do?
Thumbs down.
You got it? All right.
Got it.
Here's the first one.
Okay.
Frogs drink a lot of water. Frogs drink a lot of water. Now, is it true or is it false? What do you think, Sierra?
I'm going to go with true.
The answer is it's false.
Really?
You know, frogs live by water, but what a lot of people don't know is even though they live by water, they're different than all other animals because they don't drink water. They absorb water through their skin, and so that's how they stay hydrated.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that.
That one was a little tricky, wasn't it?
That is tricky because frogs are always in water.
All right, how about this one? Elephants use their nose to eat. True or false?
I'm going to go true again.
True. The answer is true. Elephants do use their nose. They don't chew with their nose, but they use it like a fork or a spoon like you would do. And that's how they get their food to their mouth.
Interesting.
Okay, you ready for another one?
Yeah, let me hear it.
All right. Camels can walk 100 miles in the desert without water. Camels can walk 100 miles in the desert without water.
False.
Is it false? You guys got your answer? Here it is. It is true.
Really?
Camels can go 100 miles in the desert without drinking water. Once they do get water, though, they can drink 30 gallons of water in as much as 13 minutes.
That's insane.
They drink water fast. How about you? Can you drink it that fast?
No, I sure
No,
can't.
that's fast drinking for a camel.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, you ready for another one?
Yeah.
The hummingbird, its egg is the smallest egg in the world. True or false? Here we go. You ready? Come on, guys.
I think it's true.
The answer is true. And here's one. Do you know what the largest egg is? Ostrich.
Ostrich. I actually didn't know that. I just couldn't
Very
think of
good.
it. Awesome.
Very good. Okay, last one.
All right.
Cats hate water. True or false? Cats hate water.
I think I know this one because I have a cat.
It's actually false. It says that even though a house cat, you have a house cat, don't you?
Yeah.
They really don't want to take a bath, but big cats, you know, that live out in the wild, they like water. They like to play in the water. They like the water.
My cat likes water in her house. It tries to get in the toilet, so there's that.
See, so cats actually like water.
Well,
So
sweet.
sometimes it's hard to tell true or false, isn't it?
It is. It is.
The good thing I understand, in any story we're going to share this next month, they're all true from their God's Word.
They're all true.
Very good.
So speaking of these stories, why don't we go ahead and hear the story that we've been talking
That'd be
about?
great. I'm going to sit over here and let you tell us the story.
Okay. So I got my story. Let's listen in because we have a really awesome story to tell you today. Okay, so this is the story of Paul. Paul, who was originally named Saul. Saul was born in the city of Tarsus. The city of Tarsus was a very cool city. This made Saul feel like he was cooler than most people, especially those who followed Jesus. Saul was very intelligent. He had studied under a famous teacher named Gamaliel. Even though Saul believed in God, he did not follow Jesus. Saul was a really big bully. He was an enemy to people who followed Jesus, and he hated them. Saul wanted to destroy the church. He was able to get people killed that followed Jesus, thrown in jail, beat up, and even killed. Christians were very afraid of Saul. Once, Saul asked the high priest in Jerusalem for letters so he could take them to the leaders in the city of Damascus. The leaders would help him arrest Christians there. But when Saul was walking along the road to Damascus, something totally surprising happened. A bright light shone down on Saul and made him blind. Then Saul heard a voice. "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" Saul heard the voice, but he couldn't see. "Who are you?" he asked. Then he heard the answer. I am Jesus, and you have been persecuting me. Now get up and go into the city." Saul was totally shocked. This was Jesus, and he had been persecuting people that believed in Jesus. Now Saul knew the truth. He had been wrong all this time, and this made Saul so sad, so he fell to the ground in tears. The other men traveling with Saul saw the light, but they couldn't hear the voice. Since Saul was blind, they led him to the city of Damascus. Ananias was a Christian man who lived in the city of Damascus. This is Ananias. He waves. Jesus came to Ananias in a vision and said that Ananias should go and meet Saul. He would be waiting there in the street called Straight Street. This concerned and made Ananias very frightened, because Saul had been persecuting, killing Christians. Ananias wondered what Saul might do to him. But in a vision, Jesus told Ananias that he had chosen Saul to do a very important job. Jesus had chosen Saul to be the leader of the Gentiles. That's all the people who are not Jews. So Ananias went to the Straight Street and found Saul there. He touched Saul and said, "Brother Saul, Jesus, who had appeared to you on the road, he has sent me so you can see again, and also so you can be filled with the Holy Spirit." As soon as Ananias said this, something like scales fell from Saul's eyes, and Saul could see again. He got up and he was baptized. Woohoo! Now that Saul knew the truth about Jesus, he wanted to tell everyone. He preached to people in Damascus, and he traveled all over the world telling people about Jesus. And that's the story of Saul. All right, wasn't that a great story?
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that.
Me too. Okay, so we're going to do a little story recap that kind of goes over what happened in the story and just ask some questions.
Sure, let's do it.
All right, so the first question is, how did Saul feel about Jesus and his followers?
You know, I guess that's what really starts this story. Saul hated Jesus and hated the Christians, and we see him going around out there trying to kill the Christians and throw them into prison, and it was obvious how much Paul really hated them.
Yeah.
But you know what? It really changed for Paul on the road to Damascus, didn't it?
True.
What happened?
So when he was walking to Damascus, a bright light shone on Saul, and then Saul fell to the ground.
Yeah.
And he realized a few seconds later that this light was Jesus, because Jesus started talking to him and telling him that he was persecuting him because he was hurting his followers.
Yeah.
And so there, Saul's name changed to Paul, and he also not only did his name change, but he changed his life around, and he stopped hurting Christians, and he actually became a Christian himself. So also Saul was blind, and so he was blind for a few days after that.
Yeah. That really got his attention, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. So why do you think that Jesus blinded Saul for 3 days?
You know, that's a great question, Sierra, and I don't know if we really know why. I mean, it doesn't say in the Bible why he did it. Mm-hmm. I really don't know, but I do know that it really got Saul's attention.
Yeah.
And I think that had a lot to do with changing who Saul was.
Yeah.
How do we know? How do we know that it really did change Saul's life?
I mean, for Saul, like I said earlier, his life completely changed around. You may know this, but if you don't, Saul actually became a missionary. He did missionary journeys. He started churches. He brought lots of people to Jesus. He wrote a lot of books that are actually in the Bibles, which are letters to different people groups that are now books of the Bible that we read, and there's great information there.
Yeah.
So that just shows us how Paul, or Saul, originally named Saul, his life completely changed around. And the cool thing is, Saul did a lot of really bad things. I mean, that's not cool, but Jesus completely changed him.
Yeah.
And he can do that for you too, because even though you might do bad things, they probably aren't as bad as what Saul was doing. And Jesus was completely able to change Saul's life around.
Yeah.
So that's what's really neat about this story, because Jesus is able to do that with every person. And we're all be able to make the decision to follow Jesus and change our life around for the better.
That's right. You know, God changed my life around, and
Yeah.
I'm sure He changed your life around
He sure
at
did.
some time.
Yeah.
And He can do that for every one of you.
Yeah, so if you have a question about if maybe you want to make a life decision to follow Jesus the rest of your life, you can totally talk to your parents about it, or if you want to contact me or Jeff, we'd love to talk to you about it as well. Our information, our phone numbers are in the packets that we give you, and so we'd love to chat about it.
That's right. Hey, can I show you what we've got for
Yeah,
material
let's
this
see
week? Miss Melissa has done the preschool material, and she has included a snack for you. So she's already got it in there. And I think she's got on here another snack that you can make. But she's got your craft material, and of course she's got your sheet that's got all your instructions on there, and it's got the story, and here's the picture, and it's got a couple pictures, and of course it's got your normal coloring sheets in there as well. And then we've also got, for the elementary, we have a packet as well. It's got some craft material, and then on here it's got the same thing. It's got the activities, some questions you can review over the lesson that we've done. Here's your craft, and then it's got some reminders on here, some reminders you can use to help remember the story, and of course it includes a coloring sheet in there as well.
Perfect. We're so glad you guys got to join us this morning as we talked about Saul and how he changed his life around and became Paul. We'll see you next week.
See you guys. Bye.